I am Spider-Man in my world. But then yesterday, I was...
Lagoland! Hey, what's up guys? Lago here. Today we're looking at something that I've been waiting for such a long time. But before we do that, let's take a look at my Spider-Man No Way Home display. And here we have Toby, Andrew, as well as Tom Holland. And Andrew Garfield's the one that we are going to be focusing on today, because that head sculpt does not look like how he looked in the movie, does it? He looks a bit younger. So we had the studio called RCN Studio, and they said, hey, we're going to save you guys. We're going to be making a Andrew Garfield head sculpt that looks a bit older. And here we have the box, and it's a nice tin box with nice little padding in there. We remove it, and finally the RCN head sculpt is there. We've been waiting for this for such a long time, over a year, maybe even more. I know that they had production, switched factories, a bunch of stuff with this one, but it's finally here. And there we have it. We have the Andrew Garfield head sculpt from No Way Home. And right out of the packaging, I have to admit, it looks amazing. No pun intended. And here we have a closer look at the Andrew Garfield head sculpt from RCN. And initially, the first shots that we got were I saw them on a Facebook post, and it didn't look too good. Honestly, I was like, oh man, did we just get stumped or something? Because this doesn't look too good. But having it in hand and seeing it here with this lighting, it looks great. I really like the way it looks. I know some people have said it looks a little soft, but if you really look at it, it has a lot of these creases and bends and folds in the skin. Nice skin texture. Really nice little like pigmentations and a nice gloss in the eyes. I think they did a fantastic job with this head sculpt, and I'm super happy with it. So today, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at it close up. We're going to be comparing it to the Andrew Garfield head sculpt that came with the Hot Toys Amazing Spider-Man figure. And we're just going to be having fun with this because we have been waiting for this for such a long time. And everybody was worried that it wasn't going to come out the way it was supposed to come out. And then the initial shots, like I said, didn't look too good that some people posted. I'm not sure who. But I'm here to tell you that in hand, this thing is awesome. I mean, look at it right now with the light shining from the side, and you can see I love that little cut in the eye, almost like that indent of his eye going down in the eye socket. It really gives it a much older look for Andrew Garfield. The hair sculpt could be a tad better, but the face is not bad at all. And here we have it. And to install it, it's a little different because with a neck peg. And if you install it with this neck peg, he's going to have giraffe neck. So I highly suggest you remove that neck peg, and then you can just stick it right inside. This is the newer Amazing Spider-Man figure. I do have the older one. It's in storage somewhere, so I didn't take it out. But this is the new one, and you can see it fits right into the neck. Nice and snug. And I think this is a great piece. So here we have the RCN Studios Andrew Garfield head sculpt on a rotating base, so you could see it through every angle. And some of the things that catch my attention that I've said before are the attention to the paint detail, where it has, if you look really close up, and we're going to see it in a little bit, it has what Hot Toys does with the little dots in the skin, so it just doesn't look like one color. It makes it look a little bit more realistic. It also has one thing that I like was that the lips are a little bit crooked, just like the Andrew Garfield normal face. And then all the little sculptural details on the face with some indents here and there. The eyes going far in a little bit more of a eyeshadow on the bags of the eyes. He looks a lot more tired than he does in his younger form, in between the eyebrows, that indent there, over down by the mouth, the jaw area. I think they did a great job, RCN. Now, the weakest part for me might be the hair. I just feel like they could have added a little bit more color to it. In the front, it looks a little bit better, but in the back, it looks a little bit mediocre. But other than that, I think they did a great job, and I'm happy to have this in my collection. And when you see them side by side, you see the young version with the older version, it's almost like two different people. It's almost like, I can't believe I had this on display for my No Way Home collection. It just didn't make sense. But at the time when I did have it, I thought it looked great. But having this now, I think I made the right decision purchasing this from RCN. And here we have an extreme close-up, so you can see what I'm talking about with the paint effect. And not only that, you can see inside the eyes, all the details in there, and the texture on the skin, as well as the creases in the eyes too. There's some really good stuff going on here. It's just you have to get it in some really good lighting to see it. And here we have both Andrew Garfield head sculpts, the young version and the new version. And seeing them side by side, it's like, I can't believe they're the same person. They just look like two completely different people. And I know one's a lot older than the other, but this is pretty crazy when you ask me. Originally, when I had the young Andrew Garfield head sculpt, I thought it looked fine. I didn't see any reason to get the older one. I thought, hey, it still looks like him. But now that I have the RCN and I compare it here, as you can see, it's night and day. The one that Hot Toys gave us does not deserve to be on that figure. I know it wasn't listed as a No Way Home figure. It was listed as an Amazing Spider-Man 2 licensing issue, so I understand what they did. But now that RCN has made this head sculpt, I believe this is the way to go. At this point, unless you're getting like a super customized one that costs way more than this. This one was about $80 to $100. I got mine from 1/6 Kit. I'm not sure if he has any left, but make sure you check them out because it's well worth it for your Andrew Garfield head sculpt. And me, I normally don't display my figures with their actor head sculpts, but for my No Way Home collection, I do, just because they're so essential for that movie. Now, something I would have loved for this head sculpt to have, and I know it's asking for too much, I know it, but hey, why not? Movable eyes. Movable eyes would have been great. I know it's not something that third parties would do, but I think movable eyes would have been awesome, especially for something like this. When you have the figure in a dynamic pose, you want him to look like he's shooting at something and looking at the shot. But since the eyes are just looking into one direction, it's kind of a little awkward. But I just wanted to show everybody how this looks full body in an action pose. And this is basically the pose that I have my Amazing Spider-Man on in my collection. So the neck movement isn't the greatest on this figure, so having movable eyes would have been great. But hey, I know that's asking for a bit much, but it'd been great. A nice little suggestion there. But this head sculpt is fantastic. I'm super happy to have it. And onto my collection it goes. Forget about the young Andrew Garfield head sculpt. The RCN is taking over. I'll use the young one for the Amazing Spider-Man 2 display. But for my No Way Home, this is one to get. So guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for visiting Lagoland. And until next time, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Peace out and have a great day.
Lagoland.